And on track. Second elect is Mimes, number 10, $6.80, $1.90, and they are the only two under 1100 the journey of race 1. They're off this time, and Spark of Life left like a rocket. And settling down, Spark of Life taken on by Pre-Warned and Pay the Believers. Then Sharp and Mimes, followed by Heather set over on the rails. Hipwell, Dr. Copernicus, and Rock Knock brings up the rear. Spark of Life down by the 800. A length and a half on Pay the Believers. Pre-Warned is third and Sharp is fourth. Then Mimes, Heather set. A length and 3/4 to Hipwell, to Dr. Copernicus, and 2.5 lengths to Rock Knock. Well, Spark of Life increasing his lead to 4 lengths on Pay the Believers as they come round the bend. Sharp has gone to third, then Pre-Warned, Mimes, Heather set, Hipwell, Dr. Copernicus, and Absolute is Rock Knock. Spark of Life railing beautifully, and into the straight and up the rise comes Spark of Life. 5 lengths on Sharp, Mimes into third posse, and then Pay the Believers, Hipwell and Heather set, but Spark of Life past the distance at the 200, about 7 lengths on Mimes, and then Hipwell getting home late along the rails, but this might be something special. Spark of Life has run his rivals into the ground, and Spark of Life bolted in from Hipwell. Third, Pay the Believers, I'd say, from Mimes, Sharp, and then Heather set, Pre-Warned, followed by Rock Knock, and Absolute was Dr. Copernicus. Boy, oh boy, can't this horse run. Number 2, Spark of Life, $1.50 and $1.10. Number 1, Hipwell, will pay $2.60, and Pay the Believers will get up for third, I'd say. Number 8 at $5.80. 3 starts, 3 wins by 9 carat from Sparkling Bounty, a Celestial Bounty mare. This fella, a 2-year-old chestnut gelding, raced by P and Mrs. M. Burney and Mrs. B and Mr. M. Jones, trained by Alan Denham. 3 out of 3. Number 2, Spark of Life, is the winner. Number 1 is second. That is Hipwell, ridden by Ronnie Stewart, by Armadale, trained by Neil Godbolt at Port Macquarie. Third goes to number 8, and that's Pay the Believers by Dana Singer, trained by Sean Ritchie at Rose Hill, Corey Brown. And number 10 was the fourth, and that was Mimes. 2, 1, 8 and 10 on the first of the day. Now they've run, or Spark of Life has run 64.58, 104.58.
All right, what a spectacular galloper he is. Very exciting. Spark of Life and George Shimoni winning over Hipwell and Pay the Believers. And fourth goes to 10, Mimes. And we'll give you that first 4 in NSW shortly after the running of race 1 at Randwick.
Course that's been kept very solid is in fact number 7, Multi Luck. 1 ahead of 4, 9 and 6.
Okay, thanks, Alf. As the runners are getting around to the 4,000 start there at Flemington for this first event, long way in front of them there, and St Stephen at $1.40, the clear favourite from Sir Ritchie at $8.50. Now, some that first 4.
Now for the crisp. Play Me Please, having joined them on the outside, 4,000 metres. 15 fences, they're on their way in the crisp. Play Me Please dropping out to last at the start. Crafty Dancer jumped well. So did Mr. Lightfoot and Sir Ritchie driving for the lead. And Seafit's going forward as well as they meet the first fence now. And St Stephen is in behind the speed on the rail. Mr. Classical is around him. El Charge towards the end with Play Me Please, and Multi Luck had dropped out last. Seafit is the leader as they settled footing now, and by the 1200 the first time round, it's Seafit in front. In second placing, 2 lengths away is Sir Ritchie, and they're trailed then by Crafty Dancer, Mr. Lightfoot. And going forward is Mr. Classical over on the outside. He put in a big leap at that. Gee, St Stephen met some trouble there. His rider was in awful bother, and he's dropped out to be third last now, with only El Taj behind him and Multi Luck as last, as they settle down and come along towards the stone wall fence now, near the 800 the first time round. Seafit from Mr. Classical. Third is Sir Ritchie as they come towards this fence now, and they're followed by Mr. Lightfoot over on the outside of Crafty Dancer and next St Stephen. He's racing over on the outside of Play Me Please, and then El Taj, and Multi Luck is struggling to stay in touch with these horses today, and he's about 5 lengths away, jumping that one high. They sweep up towards the turn the first time round now. Mr. Classical going to the lead ahead of Seafit. In behind them is Crafty Dancer in third, in company with Sir Ritchie on his outside, and then Play Me Please and Mr. Lightfoot. Behind these then is St Stephen as they leap the brick wall fence, and behind them is El Charge, and Multi Luck is back last of all. Mr Classical, the leader, coming along towards the stone wall. Over it he goes. He's out by a couple of lengths. It's Mr Classical, the leader, from Seafit second, Crafty Dancer third, and Sir Richie on the outside, a prominent fourth, followed then back behind those horses in the field. Gee, the rider of St Stephen, the bridle has actually come loose, and he's working on getting that back in position there. That's why he probably hasn't been jumping all that well. Going through Play Me Please on the inside with Mr Lightfoot. And El Charge is back second last with Multi Luck last. Pace has just dropped off the speed here, and turning out of the straight, they've jumped the first 6. 9 fences remain. They head to the riverside, and Mr Classical in front from Crafty Dancer. Seafit third on the outside. Play Me Please is running fourth on the inside of Sir Richie, and then came St Stephen on the inside of Mr Lightfoot. El Charge is second last, and Multi Luck is back last of all. So Mr Classical, the leader, from Crafty Dancer, coming to the first on the riverside. Seafit holding third as they leap it. And then Play Me Please, followed a length away by Sir Richie, one St Stephen. He's being followed at the 1800 to Mr Lightfoot. Multi Luck and El Taj dropped out last as they fence that next one on the riverside, and Mr Classical still out in front of Crafty Dancer and Seafit. Play Me Please and Sir Richie making a move on the outside at the next. Then St Stephen, who's recovered after these mishaps to be 5 lengths off them, trailed by El Taj. Mr Lightfoot and Multi Luck is still last of all. They've done a circuit. Here's the 10th fence looming up in the race now, and it's Crafty Dancer and Mr Classical. They share the front as they go over it. Clear from in third placing Play Me Please, joined again by Seafit, and St Stephen's come away from the rails now, and he's going up on the outside, followed by Sir Richie, and then came El Charge. Multi Luck and Mr Lightfoot dropped out last. Inside the 1200, Mr Classical still led, Crafty Dancer still second, and Seafit third from Play Me Please. Then came St Stephen. Oh, the leader went right through that one, and eventually he's thrown the rider off. Mr Classical falling after a bad mistake, and Seafit looked to get badly hampered there, and he's got put out of the race. Crafty Dancer is left in front. St Stephen right behind him on the inside. Sir Richie makes a quick dash on the outside, and he joins the leader with Play Me Please as they leap this fence and come along towards the home turn. And Sir Richie going for home comes to the third last one now from Play Me Please. He left it well. Then Crafty Dancer and St Stephen on the outside, and then a break to Multi Luck and Seafit. Coming around the turn, Sir Richie from Play Me Please running a very improved race, and then St Stephen and Crafty Dancer, 2 to get over now in the crisp, and it's Sir Richie the leader, comes towards the second last. St Stephen 2 lengths away but closing, and then Crafty Dancer. Here's the last one coming up, and Sir Richie with St Stephen after him. Over the last they go. Sir Richie, St Stephen, will his flat ability prove superior at the 200 metres? He's gone up to level up now, and then Crafty Dancer and Play Me Please. St Stephen and Sir Richie wide apart, 150 to go. St Stephen, Sir Richie's coming back on the outside. Sir Richie on the outside and St Stephen. What a finish this is. A head bobber to the line. They hit it. Oh, I'll stay out. It's very, very close. St Stephen the inside. Sir Richie with Crafty Dancer third. Then Play Me Please, Multi Luck, Seafit, and the other two just walking to the line here. Mr Lightfoot and El Taj. Photo finish. Wide apart. What a great finish it was. Big pull in the weights for Sir Richie, and it'll get him home. Number 4, ridden by Tom Hazlitt, takes out the crisp. Second placing, St Stephen, Craig Durden, and Crafty Dancer in third place. Numbers are 4, 1 and 2.
Yeah, what a finish. He'd hit the front, St Stephen, but Sir Richie just kept coming on the outside, and a game performance. Terrific finish that. 4, 1 and 2 after an exciting start to the day, the steeplechase. Sir Richie by a nose over St Stephen and a Crafty Dancer. Let's head off to Ipswich for the first on Cup Day and get the late mail. Here he is, Larry Olsen.
Thanks, Chris. The numbers are 4, 1, 12 and 10, the same as I had this morning. I'm going to for the 4. Very similar, just a little bit easier with the bookies than what he is on the tote. However, I just consider that...
Let's head to Ian now for the second.
So Dayana, after breaking through, is coming back to the stalls. Actually had a towel draped around its neck, and it went about 30 metres, and the towel just dropped off. They've picked the towel up from the course proper. Monty Warrior, Columban and Lunch at Frisco's to move in, and Dayana's almost back at the stalls now. 1400 the journey. Now Columban going forward now here at Randwick. Gates are back, and there they go. Tumler squeezed out. Dahara and Columban slow to go. And look at Mars from an inside alley, jumped out quickly. Now Dahara's getting mobilised and is moving up into second posse from Monty Warrior, and wider out lunch at Frisco's. A length the Wallace Trick, and then comes Galway Grey, a length and a half. King of the stage, Sir Marwena Debonair wide out, followed by Burnline. Nagoya well out of its ground, followed by Tornado Alert. Tumler second last, Columban is last. Onto the side they go at the 850. And Look at Mars is the leader from lunch at Frisco's. To Dahara, followed wider out Monty Warrior. Galway Grey sneaking along the rails. Then Wallace Trick, King of the stage, Sir Marwena Debonair, followed by Tornado Alert. And then come the stablemates Burnline and Nagoya. Tumler second last, and Columban brings up the rear. 600 out. And Look at Mars coming to the turn. A length and a half on lunch at Frisco's. 2 Galway Grey, followed by Dahara, wider Monty Warrior. 3 Wallace Trick, and then King of the stage, Sir Marwena, and then Tornado Alert and Debonair. Nagoya's only got 3 behind it as they straighten it. Look at Mars snuck away, and down to the 250. Look at Mars about 4 Monty Warrior, Dahara, 2 Tumler, and then Galway Grey. Nagoya's a minute back, but Look at Mars, 150 to go, is about 3 Dahara. Tumler's made up a lot of ground, and then Monty Warrior, but Look at Mars, a low towering, is safely holding Tumler and Dahara, and pretty well all the way to Look at Mars from Tumler, Dahara and Monty Warrior. Then Nagoya, followed by Wallace Trick, Columban, Galway Grey, Sir Marwena, Tornado Alert, and then Debonair, King of the stage, followed home by Burnline, and lunch at Frisco's was absolute.
Winner there, Look at Mars, Len Beasley, and pays 430 and 170. At this stage, it looks as though you've got to be up on the pace there at Randwick. Tumler second and Dahara third. 11, 14, 5. Now fourth, it looks like number 3. And number 14, Tumler, was the value bet there. And they also put in those placings too of 5 and 14. So a box trifecta to value bet there in the second. Now Flemington, there's a value bet there for this second event, and they're heading to the start for the running of race 2. That's due in 5. Now I can tell you fourth at Ipswich in that previous event was number 6. Now there's the first 4 in Sydney while I have it. 11, 14, 5 and 3. And it's paid 1,422.10. Now fourth at Ipswich, and we still haven't got correct weight there. One of the riders, Zach Purton, was looking at the video just to see if he had a fair start on his ride, Blue Pharaoh. But the first 4 numbers were 13, 9, 12 and 6. And we need a first 4 at Cheltenham as well. Now, still not through for Ippy. Now, at Flemington, we're going to have a look at the runners in this second event on the card as they're heading out. And we'll get the late mail now from Alf on race 2.
Thanks, Chris. Look, I've stuck with number 1, Naden. He was very good winning the...
On the card, 1400 track being cleared. Set to break. Off they go now. Irish Jester looked a little slow. Milkshake jumped okay, but is going to steady early. And Boy Can He Go was the first to appear, and he holds it narrowly, but there's pressure up there. Naden is going forward and finds the lead after 250. Naden from Finian, Boy Can He Go, and Final Demand got over to fourth with Manee Lane his outside, and one further back is Char. Then the grey Milkshake on the inside, 1,000 left to go, being followed by Irish Jester. Cool Trent, sensational swing away from the speed, and then came Royal Rule, and Zero Engagement is back last of all. Coming up to approach the turn at the 800 metres now, and it's Naden away from the rails, being joined by Boy Can He Go, and Finian is third the outside. Right behind them is Final Demand in fourth placing on the rails, followed by Manee Lane, and Char is wider out. Trailed by Milkshake, Cool Trent, and then Irish Jester as they swing the corner. Royal Rule putting to the outside, sensational swing, and Zero Engagement last on the inside. Passing the 500, Boy Can He Go, Finian and Naden in the centre. Char 2 lengths away from Milkshake, and then Final Demand, Irish Jester, and Royal Ruled out wider with a 250 to go, and Finian put a gap on them, quickly opened up a couple of lengths now. Milkshake goes into second placing, then Final Demand and Char. Finian the leader. Milkshake starts to peg it back now. Finian from Milkshake, Final Demand. Milkshake goes home the best, and Milkshake by a long head to Finian. Third, Final Demand. Zero Engagement, 4 from last. Then Cool Trent, sensational swing, Char, Royal Rule, Manee Lane. Boy Can He Go finishing towards the end in company with Naden. The leaders have folded up, and Irish Jester last in. Well, there's the turn in fortunes for Milkshake, who got involved in a scrimmage and fell here at his last start, and he's turned it around with a victory today. 11.50 and 3.20 for Milkshake, beautifully handled by Danny Brereton. Finian second, $2.80, and Final Demand in third place, $6.80. 3, 7 and 6 are the official placings.
Okay, we'll get that fourth number in a moment, but 3, 7 and 3.20 over Finian and Final Demand. 65.40 the Quinella, $95 exact to 2,691 trifecta. Still awaiting the fourth number there at Flemington. There is a value bet too at Ipswich, take note. 1902 238 238 is the...
Another very open race here. John Hawkes has got 2 runners, both very good chances. I've gone with number...
Ice Cream, popular pick, number 7, 3:30 in New South Wales. 1,400 ahead of them here. And away they go. And Ice Cream, the favourite, jumped as well as anything. Son of Pegasus away quickly, and likewise Arionte. River to the Sea is not far away, and then comes Balala. Verb over on the rails. Domini is pratted out pretty wide, followed by Flash Nelson, and then courting at Architrave's last as they come onto the course proper. And Beedman has the favourite Ice Cream bowling along with a lead of more than a length on Son of Pegasus. Arionte third, followed by River to the Sea around Verb, and a couple of lengths to Domini, Balala, then Flash Nelson, and courting on the inside of Architrave the last couple. Down past the 750 they travel, and nothing taking on Ice Cream. Arionte sitting a length away second. Son of Pegasus third. River to the Sea next between wider out Domini and Verb, who lost some ground nearer to the rail. Then Flash Nelson. Further off in the field is Architrave, and then getting back out of its ground Balala, and courting is actually last now as they swing around the home corner, and with 400 metres left to run, Ice Cream a length Arionte. Domini's gone to third. River to the Sea fourth, and then Verb now pulled to the outside. Son of Pegasus not going on with it from Architrave, racing to the 200. Ice Cream a length and a half clear. Verb on the outside is starting to whittle down the margin. Rob Thompson goes for the persuader on Verb, and it's picking up Ice Cream. Verb hits the front, and Verb is racing away from Ice Cream and River to the Sea. A promising horse, Verb. He wins it well. Ice Cream second, River to the Sea third, fourth Domini, then Architrave, Flash Nelson, Arionte, Son of Pegasus courting, and absolute was Balala. Nice horse, this fella. It was a good run. He lost some ground coming down the side of the track near the 600 marker, but when Robert was able to get him out and into clear galloping room, he really knuckled down to his task. He's been crying out for journeys like 1400. This was his second try at 14. He'd won on the Kenzo track here at his start prior to today, and he's probably going somewhere, this horse. So a happy day for the Denhams. Jack training Verb.
Yeah, good win to Verb, 7.20 and 2.40. Ice Cream second, and River to Sea third. Now, Robbie Thompson is only 1 win away from that elusive 3,000th winner. So maybe he'll get it today. Maybe we'll see him do it at Royal Randwick. Now, the divs at Randwick, 7.20, 2.40 Verb. Ice Cream second, River to Sea third, 12.30, 23.70, 234, the trifecta there. Okay.
Very good. Even though it's never won first up, it does look very fit and very forward, and it's ran nice races down the...
Amazing performance of St Stephen in the steeplechase. He went round for about 1,200 metres without the bridle in place. Bill Williams lent the hand to get the bridle back on, and he got beaten in a photo finish. Great piece of horsemanship and sportsmanship too by the rider Bill Williams to help out his fellow man when he was in trouble in the middle of the crisp steeplechase. Just about ready to go. Milkshake won the previous on the card, likely to be freshened up for a spring campaign. Hulavai takes the outside gate, so they're all in track, downgraded to dead, and they stand in ready for the third. Off they go. And, well, I don't know what happened to Real Dragon, but he walked out of the gates down to the inside, and Pindy Ridge was away fast. Beach Box got out of the stalls quickly too, and Hulavai is coming towards the middle of the track, and Go Tight to jump well, and Ruby Slipper's up there also. Settling into stride, Pindy Ridge goes solo the inside, and out to the 600 metre mark now. It's Go Tight moving up and taking a slender lead from a Water Forces, including Hulavai, Ruby Slipper and Eyeliner right behind them, and half each has the outside rail. Further back in the field is Beachbox not far away from Constructor. Real Dragon coming up the middle of the course. Goodnight Kiss is getting a run over near the outside rail, and Rose of Spartacus is there, and Pindy Ridge over on the inside. Probably not in it at this point at the 200, where Beachbox had gone to the lead now from Raja Lane, Constructor and Hulavi, and then came Goodnight Kiss. Raja Lane is coming hard on this outside rail, and Constructor, Raja Lane, they hit the line, and it's very close. Constructor, Raja Lane, Beachbox third. Real Dragon has run fourth after missing the start. Pindy Ridge not far away on the inside, and they were followed by Hulavi, Goodnight Kiss, and further back Rose of Spartacus, Ruby Slipper go tight towards the end with half each. Photo finish. 58-1 on the now dead rated track, and it'll go to Raja Lane on the outside. Will get the photo. Number 1 will get the photo over Constructor number 6. 1, 6 and 5 are official. 1, 6 and 5 in 58.1. Raja Lane, who went out for a spell after finishing only 3 lengths away in the Group 2 Swettenham in February, and has always been a very good short course sprinter. Reserves her best generally for Moonee Valley, but she's a straight track winner in Adelaide, and although she has performed well at Moonee Valley, just this little cushion in the ground here today has probably helped her. She went out in career best form, really, stringing some victories together. Earlier had won a Dermody, and then she went for a long while without winning a race, but she is really in good form at the moment, coming in fresh up with this win today. Second, Constructor, Darren Gauci, running up to his good first up form. Beachbox has run third. Fourth home was 9, Hulavi. 15 was 10, Real Dragon. He didn't begin at all well, Real Dragon. He's run home well, though, at the end. 1, 6, 5 in 58-1, race number 3.
Improved today over Trousers, Comfort, Stormbuster and Romeo George. Now, here he is, Specular. I was referring to him before, and they're parading for the running of this year's Grand National Hurdle. I've been talking about him all week, and he looks fantastic, Alf.
He certainly does, and I think he's had a very good preparation leading into this particular event over the 4,000. Looks good.
OK, let's look at number 2 here, and that is Alabar. Give him any chance?
I certainly do. Could be the surprise packet in a race like this. I haven't marked him on top, but he's very dour and going very well, and his performance behind Specular last time at Moonee Valley I thought was acceptable.
Amalfi interest seems to have peaked perfectly for this for Jim Houlihan.
Well, given the fact that he's had 5 over the jumps and only 4 wins and 1 placing, I tell you what, one thing I will guarantee, this will run the journey right out.
OK, now risky venture, $21 chance.
Yeah, it looks pretty healthy in the coat. I know his form hasn't been perhaps the best, and he hasn't beaten the top level before, but he's in with a chance.
Number 5, Sale of Century. I'm feeling he's been ridden upside down his last couple.
Yeah, look, you could be right, but then again, with the blinkers on, I suppose it depends what type of effect it has on him, whether he wants to go a little bit too hard or not. It is 4,000 metres, and I've seen him make a few errors in the past. Not sure, but respect him because we know he's got a lot of ability on the flat.
OK, let's look at number 6 here at $15, and that is Family Favourite.
And indeed, this horse fits into a similar sort of category. Over the 4,000 metres, does tend to over-race a little bit in the early stages. If they leave him alone in front, that's his best chance. Looks OK, though. OK,
number 7 as one of the outsiders, Friar Magic.
Yeah, and yet his jumps record's pretty good. Look, the Australian hurdle performance I didn't think was all that bad, given the fact he did hit a couple. He will run the journey if he jumps safe. OK,
Liston is an 8-year-old, and he's quoted at $19.
Liston, I reckon he's a good roughie in the race. Number 9, Millennium Dancer, is improving all the time. 10, Monogila. Yeah, look, I'd sort of doubt him a little bit, and Super Cobra will want to do everything right.
All right, Alf, thank you. But all eyes will be on Specular, and it's going to be a terrific race, and it's coming up in 10 minutes, the Grand National Hurdle. Now, at Randwick, the runners are about to move in. That first 4 at Cheltenham, 1, 5, 2 and 7 got 4th. It paid $133.60, $133.60. And there's the rest of those divs with correct weight there now. OK, they move in at Randwick, a field of 10 going around here over the 2,000. And this race brought to you by Eliza Park. And the favourite is Nazgul at 3:30. Good backing late for Comforts. Here's Ian now for the fourth.
Right, yes, fourth of the day. And popular pick is Nazgul, number 5, 3:30 and 170, ahead of number 1 and number 2, 2 and 1. So summing up, number 5 Nazgul, 3:30, 4:40 number 2, 4:90 number 1, and in the ring, Nazgul has been the best back runner. In a half a point, Nazgul, and is clear favourite with bookies. Previous race going to Verb, number 5 Rob Thompson beats 7 Ice Cream, 3 River to the Sea and 2. The second 11 Look at Mars, and 2 Spark of Life bolted home in the first of the day. Now up to line comes Costa's Off. Costa's Off goes in now, and we'll soon see action. Race 4, the Choisir Wallace Perry handicap. Paul Perry training Romeo George, and they're off on their 2,000 metres assignment. And actually, one of the best out was Trousers. Comforts came out nicely, so did Stormbuster. Costa's Off whipping up very quickly from a wide alley, then Nazgul, Stark Touch, Val's Regard. Costa Gem trapped out pretty wide, followed by Romeo George, and 2.5 to Bruton. Costa's Off to the lead, and over the crossing at the 1,600 metres, Costa's off to the rails, a length and a half Trousers. Third posse is Comforts, 2.5 to Stormbuster, 3/4 one off the rails. Is the favourite Nazgul, 2.5 to Stark Touch, a length to Val's Regard. And a couple further off in the field is Costa Gem on the outside of Romeo George, and 3 lengths to Bruton. They're really stringing out now as they race along towards the 1,200 marker, and Costa's Off is in front by a length and a half Trousers. Third posse is Comforts, and Nazgul is running fourth. Fifth on its inside, Stormbuster, about 2.5 lengths Stark Touch. Val's Regard the outside. The next pair are Costa Gem around Romeo George, and Bruton is Absolute. They work their way out of the back straight now, and they've travelled more than half the journey, and the leader is Costa's Off from Trousers. Third posse is Comforts. Nazgul is fourth, shading Stormbuster, and then a break of 2.5 to Val's Regard. On its inside is Stark Touch. Then Romeo George, trained by Paul Perry, and the Wallace Perry Choisir handicap. Costa Gem on its outside, and about 4 or 5 lengths to Bruton. They're on past the 600 now. Costa's Off in front. The rider on Nazgul is about to make a move. Trousers second, Nazgul to third, and then Stormbuster, Comforts, Val's Regard, Romeo George with 3 behind him as they swing around the home bend. Costa's Off the leader. Nazgul wide out to second. Stormbuster battles on. Comforts joining in swiftly as the riders had to go for the whip on Nazgul. In the meantime, Stormbuster and Comforts race away from Nazgul. A length in it, and then Val's Regard and Romeo George. Stormbuster on the inside, and Comforts a length and a half on Nazgul. Stormbuster is pulling out sufficient, holding Comforts. Val's Regard late with Romeo George, but Stormbuster beat Comforts and Romeo George from Val's Regard. Nazgul was disappointing, and then came Costa Gem, Bruton, and the last pair, Costa's Off in company of the main division and Stark Touch, and tailed right off, thank you very much, was Trousers. Stormbuster's been able to win it here. Number 4, Stormbuster, Glenn Boss for Danny Williams. And he's been racing very well. 3 from his last 4 now, including a double at Randwick. He won here on the 14th of May. Number 4, Stormbuster, has outplugged Comforts to win it, and pay $6 and $1.80. Trained by Danny Williams from many owners, by Centane from Oz Jewel, and has clocked up 2:06.17. Gee, it was a slowly run race.
And nicely judged by Glenn Boss. Stormbuster holding off Comforts, who looks certain to win over the rise. Romeo George getting third, and Val's Regard, I do believe, will be fourth. We'll confirm that. Here it comes, yep. So 4, 2, 3 and 10, and that first 4, 795.60.